Hello everyone, welcome to Talknovate. My name is Rukira Anuga, but you can call me Coach Ruki. First of all, I do want to apologize because I'm aware that this episode is going to come out later than I initially planned to, or like I initially do since the start of this podcast. But it's been circumstances beyond my control, and I almost canceled this session for this week. I almost canceled this episode for this week, but the show must go on, regardless of any odds that come against it. So I'm very excited to be able to speak with all of you today. On behalf of the Mental Health Awareness Month, May, I'm aware this month is coming to an end. But on behalf of this month, today I'm going to talk about mental health in the digital space. As much as I love how impactful the digital space is, how impactful the internet and most especially social media is for promoting your brand, for getting to learn new things, and basically having the whole world at your mobile phone, I do understand that sometimes it negatively impacts our mental health. And so I'm going to talk from experience. Like, I'm going to give a personal example. So I do love social media, and sometimes I'm scrolling through social media, and then I see certain things I want and maybe I don't have it yet, and then I start to put pressure on myself, like, oh my god, what am I doing right, what am I doing wrong, like, how do I get this, how do I achieve this, what I've been doing all this while. Like, it just puts so much pressure on me. And also it breeds this culture of FOMO, like fear of missing out, right? So sometimes you see what your age mates are doing, what your colleagues, your friends, your schoolmates, and people who are probably within your same social circle or within your age group. Sometimes if you're not like mentally strong enough, you tend to compare, like, oh my god, people within my age group have achieved this, have reached a certain level, have reached certain heights, and what am I doing? Like, why am I not there? Like, and you're seeing these things, like, it tends to put pressure on you, and you start thinking of your life and just feeling like, how do I meet up? How do I how do I keep up with the times? How do I keep up with what everyone else is doing and everyone else is achieving out there? And sometimes, for some people, sometimes I get to, like, pull back and start feeling content and feeling grateful for my journey, for how far I've come and the things by the grace of God that I've been able to overcome. But sometimes, if we're honest with ourselves, sometimes it's difficult to get back to that positive mental state. So I feel like that's one of the side effects of the digital space. And sometimes even news, like, you see certain things that could be very triggering. Maybe it's happened to you before, maybe it hasn't happened to you, but maybe someone in your family, amongst your friends, or who has gone through certain things. So when you see it, just pops up and it kind of affects you. So I do tell people that sometimes you need to literally fast from social media, to just take a break, to filter, or rather to sit with your thoughts, because we get influenced in this generation by so many things, and so many people, like, many people have huge followings and big platforms, and people have opinions, and sometimes those opinions may not be in alignment with what your values are. So, and that is a real thing that we all need to discuss sometimes. But in as much as, yes, there's certain negative side effects to, or rather negative impacts to our mental health, there are also certain positives, because, okay, I'm African, I'm from Nigeria. Nigeria is a religious country. And so most times growing up, if you're going through like trauma, or, you're trying to deal with certain things and you speak to anyone, most of the time, like 9 out of 10, or let me say 7 out of 10, you'll be advised to go see a religious leader, or, just pray about it, like fast and just pray and have faith, and, I'm a Christian, so read your Bible, and all these things will come to you. But sometimes you need to go a step further, to speak with a professional, with someone who is skilled, to advise you based on science, biology, based on psychological research, and just help you to unpack certain things you've gone through. Because I feel there's something we're all going to agree on, that what is part of the human experience is going through things. I don't think there's any human being that has walked this earth without dealing with some form of trauma, some form of grief. So at some point in life, we all have to unpack certain things and, try, or rather, sometimes we want to deal with certain behavioral patterns that might not really be helpful to us, or want to learn how to deal with certain situations that we're in. And it really helps to get information a professional from a professional therapist who has studied the art of it, who has done research, who has spoken to lots of people. So they've identified certain patterns and they've identified certain solutions that could help you deal with certain things better. I'm a Christian. I believe in God. And yes, I believe in godly counsel as well. And I also believe that there's room for professional counsel as well. And the beauty of therapy is you can actually get a therapist that, or rather sign up for a therapist that is a Christian, or a therapist that have certain values that you believe in. So you know that, okay, beyond just the professional advice, you're also getting godly counsel as well. And so one thing I love about the digital space is now it has made it easier for us. Like I said earlier, I'm an African, and it's not really our culture per se to like seek therapy when we're going through certain things. But with the beauty of the internet, I can be in Lagos, Nigeria, I can be in Sweden, I can be in the UK, I can be wherever, just my apartment, wherever in the world, and I can just go online and sign up for therapy. So there are a couple of sites. There's BetterHelp. There's so many online therapy platforms out there where you can sign up for therapy at an affordable rate, and you get asked certain questions and you get paired up with a therapist that is skilled in whichever area you're trying to deal with, in whichever, whether it's grief, whatever it is, or you're just trying to like improve your habits. There are people who are skilled in certain areas, and you can get that information you want. So in honor of Mental Health Awareness Day, on the description below, I'm going to leave a referral link for therapy at BetterHelp. Through this link, you'll be able to get 2 weeks free subscription that would help you to gain access to helpful therapy tools that will hopefully help you deal with whatever it is you've been going through. And hopefully from there, you'll be able to start your therapy journey. Me personally, I got into therapy recently. I've been hearing about it for a while, but I've been a bit scared, okay, to be honest with you, for a long time, like for a couple of years, like I never really believed in it. I just felt like, why would you just go to someone's office and you sit down there and they ask you, so how does this make you feel? Because these are things I see in the movies. So I'm like, nah, I don't think it's really necessary. But I remember a couple of years back, I was going through something. It was actually a failed relationship at the time, and it was really hard for me to get over that situation. I wasn't really dealing with it the right way. Like I was in so much pain, emotional pain. And I remember a friend of mine was like, you know what? I have a friend who's a psychologist, and I feel you should have a conversation with her. And he linked me up with, and I had we had certain conversations. I met with her, and there were certain insights she gave me, which was helpful for me at the time. And so beyond, I think that started to shift my mind a bit about therapy. And then recently I was like, you know what? This is 2024. I want to be the better version of me. So yeah, I'm going to go into therapy.